Hi AJ, good day. You're asking me about my views on teaching. So to answer that, I need to recall my 10-year experience being a teacher in the Philippines. I taught for 5 years in private school and another 5 years in public school. I'm not practicing anymore these days. I resigned 3 years ago. Upon recalling that experience of mine being a teacher for 10 years, it made me realize one thing, and it made me compare teaching like that of a job with the pottery makers. Pottery makers, potters, or potters. I don't know how to correctly pronounce it. Pottery makers are those who create vessels for home use, vessels that could be used at home or for souvenirs or for decorations. So what do pottery makers need to create this one? Is they need the clay materials, the equipments to create the form that they want to create, the favorable environment, or the environment with the favorable conditions where they can dry up their clay after, and most importantly, their idea and their skillful hands in creating the clay pots to a vessel. For them to create a good vessel or clay pot, in doing it, in the process of making it, they need to give their full attention and focus in their hands. One simple wrong move from their hand while doing it could already make a difference in the result of the vessel. One wrong move either could destroy the whole figure. So they need also to apply their heart into it in creating that pot in the process, and their skillful hands and ideas. So why do I compare teaching to that job of a pottery maker? If the potters are the shapers of vessels out from clay, teachers are the shapers of young minds to make them into somebody who could be an asset in the community, or shapers of young minds for them to become a better person, somebody who could have a good sense of direction in life, because these are young minds are also the shapers of the community later on. So we teachers are the shapers or the breakers of the future shapers of the community. So what we need as teachers to achieve our main purpose in teaching, of course, we also need our skills. And what we teach to the students and how we teach our students are the two important factors in achieving our goal. What we teach is important. Of course, we cannot teach or give our students what we don't have. We cannot teach our students the wrong information. We cannot teach them misconceptions. If we give the misconceptions, these misconceptions, it will take years for them to unlearn it. So it should also be, it's also important that we know what we teach. We must have that mastery on what we teach, also from this academics from the curriculum. This is also what students learn, how they learn the life skills, and what should be learned that could be used later on in life. Okay, and aside from what we teach, the most important is how we teach these life skills to our students. The how we teach to our students is the one that they could remember when they grow up. What I mean is, how we teach our students, that is how we influence our students in their lives. What we teach to our students is specifically what would create a lasting impression in their lives. That is how we create an impact in their life. I mean, for example, I too had good sets of teachers during my school years, but I cannot specifically identify what academic did I actually learn from a particular teacher. But I can freshly recall how these teachers made me feel in my school years. I can actually recall what influence this teacher gave me. How they made me feel before is actually what they created an impact in my life. So when we teach on the how, we should give our love and compassion to our students. So the how we teach our students is the most important one, because that is what we owe to give to our students, to touch them somehow in their lives, to lead them to that good direction on how we make them feel. Okay, because on how we let them feel is how it also would make them feel about themselves and the people around them. If the pathers could choose, they have the option to choose the quality materials for them to lead to a better result or the best result of the vessels. They have the option to choose. The difference is with the teachers, we cannot choose our constituents. We cannot choose our students. We cannot. We don't have the option to choose the kind of students we have. We do teach different students from all walks of life. I mean, we deal with students with from different backgrounds way back home. There could be students from broken families, students with a good family, students with a bad history, or students with the good ones. So we all deal with different students from all walks of life, but we have the same purpose, which is to make them a better person in the community. So that's how complicated our work is. We cannot apply the same style or the same strategy to one student, one single strategy to the whole students with different backgrounds. So for us to achieve our goal as teachers, so that's when we teach compassion and with love. Teaching with love, everything will just follow. So that's all. Thank you.
The ability to communicate clearly, logically, and simply is a very, very important skill. So regardless of your major, whether you're an English major, a science major, or a math major, be sure that you are a good communicator. And take note, communication is a skill. So that means it can be learned. So over time, make sure that you practice your communication skills, improve your grammar skills, and of course your writing skills. Okay? But right now, in the new normal, we do our classes synchronously and asynchronously. When we say synchronous, that means that involves live teaching and students access the learning materials at the same time, of course with their teacher. And asynchronously, still online, but students access the modules or the other tasks at different times and at their own pace. Okay? But we also do modular learning. We provide digital copies of our modules, and we ask our students to write their answers in their respective notebooks for each subject. So that's how teaching occurs in our classes right now in the middle of the new normal. It's very, very different from the traditional classes because the approaches and strategies are very, very different, okay?
So, good morning everyone. The question is how I view teaching. Well, to simply answer that, I view teaching as to something or a way where I could learn and gain knowledge to an area where I am studying of. But as a student, we oftenly relate teaching. We often relate teaching to our teachers since they're the one who are obviously teaching us to every subject we're having in school. And so I could say that I view teaching as to how I view of how a good a teacher is. Well, each of the teachers are trying their best to teach their students out of their out to the extent of their capabilities in teaching.